Wow. 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 Here we go. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Oh. And we are live. Welcome back to another live, everybody. This is a Sunday reset. This is a Sunday reset where we're coming in to reset so that way we can tackle the next week with strength, encouragement, and vigor. Right? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining. Sound like we in a Sunday service, right? But this is just a reset. This is just a reset. I wanted to come on here and you know, just talk with y'all, see how everybody's doing, see how everybody's Sunday's going, and yeah, you know, share some motivation. Share some motivation because I was motivated this morning. I made a decision this morning, and I'm so grateful for the decision that I made because put me on it put me on the path of realignment, right? Because there were so many different ways that I could have taken or I could have handled this the morning, but I did so in a way that was productive, right? So yeah, I felt the need to just come in and just sharing that good, positive energy and just maybe deliver a good word here too as well. So that's what we're gonna do. And I kind of want to preference this by one of my favorite scriptures, right? And I want to say it's Romans 12, verse 22, or Romans 12, verse 2. No, it's 22. Oh, wait. Maybe it is 2. Let's see. Yep, it is 2. Yep. Verse 12. Romans 12, verse 2 is what? Do not be conformed by the world, but rather be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that's where it is kind of inspired me to do is that's what this reset inspired me. This is scripture inspired this reset because when you renew yourself, when you renew your mind, right, you essentially look at things from a whole nother perspective, right, as opposed to the perspective that you had. And it gives you the opportunity to create something new, create something different, create something that is beneficial and conducive to your growth, right? And that's exactly what this is right now. This is a reset. This is an opportunity to reset yourself, to reset the day, to really come at it from a different perspective, right? Because maybe the perspective that you had, the momentum that you had going, coming out of the week, maybe it wasn't the best, right? Maybe it was counterproductive. Maybe you had intentions for it to go a certain way, but it didn't. And so it put you on a trajectory that maybe wasn't suitable for you was trying to go. And therefore you felt how you felt and it put you on a different path. So now this is the opportunity right here, right now to reset that, to come at the day, next day, or today with a renewed sense, right? With a transformed mind. And I think that's important too, because we're all on a journey, right? We're all on a path, and we all have a calling on our lives. And sometimes we miss that call, right? Just due to circumstances, just due to life happening, right? But the thing about the call is it never stops calling you. So even if you feel like you're off the path, even if you feel like things aren't happening how you want them to happen, it's okay. It's okay. Because this is your opportunity to try again and get it right, right? Right here, right now, in this moment is the opportunity for you to try again and get it right. Because no one gets it right the first time, second, third, fourth, fifth time. It doesn't matter how many times you get. You're never going to get it right the first time, because there's always going to be something that gives you a different perspective, or it gives you a challenge, or it does something to life does something to change your perspective. Maybe throw you off the path a little bit, but not too far to where you can't get back on it. And so, with this renewed sense, with this renewed understanding, you now have the opportunity and the pleasure to seek the thing that is what you're looking for, right? You have a chance to go after that thing, that dream or that vision that you have for your life, right? It all starts right here, right now, in these moments. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for listening in. Greatly appreciated. You are appreciated. Make sure you're tapping the screen, leaving likes, comment. Let me know how you're gonna reset yourself today. So yeah, here we are. But I just wanted to come on here real quick for a brief moment. Because this right here is the momentum being set. Right? This right here, right now, in this moment, is the momentum being set. So the way I show up now, the way it looks right now, isn't necessarily how it's going to be all the time. I understand that. So a lot of people will get discouraged in these moments. A lot of people will get discouraged because they don't see things working out how they want it to work, right? But again, it's all about the long game. If you stop showing up, nothing's going to happen. Even if you show up and nothing happens, if you stop, you're guaranteed nothing to happen. But if you continue to show up for yourself day in and day out, if you continue to renew your sense day in and day out, then there's always going to be an opportunity for you to grow, to succeed, to prosper, right? The opportunity doesn't present itself by you just sitting back and just like, well, whatever the case is. And that's something that inspired me this morning, right? Because I was looking at someone's live and they're saying the same thing. Like, they didn't really feel like getting up. They didn't really feel like, going live or nothing like that, but they did anyway, because again, it's like you treat this like you were at a job, right? You don't want to go to work. You may not like the job, but it's what pays you. So you show up anyway, because you understand that you're not just doing this because you like it. You're doing this because you got bills to pay and you got things that you want to do, and maybe you got mouths to feed. This is the same way, right? This is kind of like when you first start a job and you put your 2 weeks in, you don't get paid, or your weekend and you don't get paid. That's kind of how it's like with this showing up. Like at first, you're not going to see much of a result, but the real result comes from who you become as you continue to show up every single day, every single time, right? So the more you show up, the better you get at it. Now, the only thing that starts to change is the presentation. That's the only thing that for me, I've been doing this for a while. And the only thing that I need to change up is the presentation, the way it looks. Like right now, it's cool. The information I got is cool. The vibes is right. All I need is just to switch up the presentation, and then boom, we're off. At least that's how I feel about it. Um, but nonetheless, I continue to show up anyway, because it's not about how it looks. It's about the information that is being conveyed. It's about the energy that's being conveyed. Because it doesn't matter how something looks. Well, it does matter how something looks, but more importantly, what matters is the information, is the conviction, is how you're showing up every single time, right? So that's essentially what it is. And that's why we're here today. Hey, Fredzy, how Hey, what's going on? How are you? Yeah, if you don't mind. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't mind. I'm not gonna say no to that. I would definitely appreciate it. I thank you so much. But yeah, so that's what we're here for. For those that just tuning in, this is a Sunday reset, right? And we're just recalibrating ourselves to get us prepared for the upcoming week. Because maybe you didn't have such an eventful week, and that's okay. But now is the opportunity for you to reset, to try again, and to get it right this time. Because I kind of was inspired. Like, this was inspired by a lot of things. This live, but one is inspired by somebody who I was watching this morning, and they was showing up anyway, regardless of how they felt, and it kind of made me think about a scripture that is near and dear to my heart, which is Romans 12 verse 2, and it's do not be conformed by the world, but rather be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And so this right here, right now, is just that. This is the renewal process. This is the process of renewing yourself so that way you can show up with a different set of lenses. So that way you can see things that you've never seen before. Because maybe you'll go back and you'll do the same thing, but you're not going to do the same thing with the same lenses. You're going to do the same thing with a different perspective. So that means you're going to see things that maybe you didn't see in the beginning, right? Maybe things are going to show up in a way that they didn't show up for you before. So that's what this is all about. This is about showing up in a way that has never been shown before, or showing up in a way that you've never shown up before, right? So yeah, that's what it is. Thank you so much for the love, for the likes. I appreciate everybody for being today. Thank you so much. Um, but yeah, that's what this is about. Showing up as the greatest version of yourself every single time, and continuing to show up, even when things don't seem or appear as though they are working out in your favor. You still continue to show up. I know for me, right? I said this before. I was out driving yesterday, and I was like, the me in the past set me up to be who I am right here, right now, right? So the consistency that I had back then is showing up right here, right now. So even when I went off the path a little bit, I always came back, right? I always found my way back on the path. So that kind of consistency is something that just sticks with you based on how you continue to show up. It doesn't matter about, well, it does matter about what kind of results you're getting, but what matters more is how you're showing up for yourself and how you're showing up for others, because it's bigger than you. Like, when you continue to show up, you start to realize, like, yo, it's bigger than you. It's bigger than me, right? It's bigger than all of this. So yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. So yeah, here we are. Whew. I'm starting to get hungry. Only 13 minutes. I probably only have another minute or two, and then I'm gonna go eat, because I like to do these things first before actually, like, you know, indulging in any food or anything like that. Because I feel like this right here fills me up more than anything else. Being able to show up in this capacity. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? So again, for those that are just entering the room, we're doing a Sunday reset, which basically we're just recalibrating ourselves to bring in the new week with a renewed sense, with a renewed understanding, right? And you do that by showing up. And one thing that I will say too is another way of resetting yourself is by getting still. I actually talked about this podcast that I was hosted on by my guy Talmadge Spicer. Shout outs to him, number one coach. And we talked about it, and he asked me a question, and the way I answered it was just by being still. Like, how can somebody start living their life with purpose and not just like by default, right? By design. How does somebody live their life by design instead of default? Like, what's the beginning stages? How does somebody start doing that? And I said, you get still, right? You get still within yourself. Because the hardest thing to do when you're trying to create something new is to utilize the momentum that got you to where you are, but it isn't going to carry you to where you want to be. Momentum that you got right now is only going to keep you on the path, and that path may not be the path you want to be on, but the momentum that you got is going to keep you on that. So the best thing you can do is to stop, pause, reset yourself, and decide now where it is that you want to go from here. And then you keep the momentum going in that direction. Even if you may veer off a little bit, it's okay. You still have the intention of keeping it in a certain direction, in a specific direction. So even if you feel like you're off just a little bit, even if you feel like things aren't really working out or operating how you want them to, the way that you show up, right, is always going to keep the momentum going, right? The way that you start off, should I say, the way that you start off is going to keep the momentum going, even when you feel like you veered off the path just a little bit, because you have a foundation to base how you got there in the first place, right? So, yeah, that's what it is. But I'm probably gonna be on here. Actually, no, probably not. I'm probably not gonna go live. I might. It all depends. But I do have some other things to do. I got some content to put out. I got a video to record, and then I got a another video to do later on today. Got to shoot a podcast episode. So yeah, that's it. Thank you all who came for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here with me on this journey, and thank you for allowing me to be on this journey with you. And I truly believe we do better when we grow together. So let's continue to grow one another. And if you found this inspiring in any way, shape, or form, make sure you check me out on YouTube, which I am live on YouTube right now. Check me out on TikTok, which I am live on TikTok right now, right? For those that are on YouTube. And make sure you subscribe, right? And join the community today. I have a community called Frequency Shifters. And in there, we actually help you to utilize the things that are already in your possession to achieve the results that you truly desire, right? So if that's somebody, if that's you, and you're looking to join a community of people who help each other grow and evolve and become better versions of ourselves, join the community, links in the description. I also have a guide that helps you to discover your intelligence type, which for me, I believe that once you discover how you learn, learning becomes limitless, right? So if you're somebody who is looking to grow and evolve in this ever-changing economy and world, then getting the guide is going to help you roadmap how to get that done, right? How to evolve with things that are changing. So the guide to discovering your intelligence type is in the description as well. And also the clothing line too, Peace and Progress, is also on my description as well. And that was inspired by a quote, which is on the back of the shirt. And it says, "We cannot attain the presence of God because we are already in the presence of God. What we're lacking is awareness." And so that just is a reminder that no matter how you may be feeling in the moment, no matter if you feel like you're off, you're never truly really off. It's just your lack of awareness that goes astray because your attention is being directed in a different direction as opposed to being directed towards what is truly in alignment with who you are and your purpose. So this is just a friendly reminder of peace and progress, right? Once you find peace, you begin to progress forward. So if that's something that you like and that's something that is in alignment with who you are, link is in the description. That's it. That's all I got for everybody today. Thank y'all so much again for tuning in. And until next time, peace and progress.